I think we're ready. Okay, you guys, we are here to talk about manifesting. I originally had planned on doing this, not class, but just like this call with my team, and really wanted to open it up to everybody across the whole Grapefruit and Gold Magic Makers team, because I love all of you, and I think that it is really important that we all hear these messages, especially at a time like this where there's just like a lot of volatility and chaos and everything else going on in everybody's world. And what we really need to be focusing on is our business. And it's not easy, and you're not going to have time for it, but we are going to make time for it, which is what everybody here is doing tonight. So we're pumped about that. I just really, really, really believe that mindset, not even I believe, I actually know mindset is so much of this business, like equal parts, you know, mindset and product knowledge and sharing and all those things. And so we, Collin and I, are really passionate about teaching about that. Collin is my husband. I guess I should introduce myself for those of you who I don't know. I'm Kendra. I am a platinum leader on this team, and Collin and I have 5 kids. Our oldest is 8 and our youngest is 17 months, I think. 17? Yep. And Collin does mindset teaching, coaching for a living. So he works with big companies like Nike and Lululemon and I don't know.
Zillow, FedEx, Salesforce,
like all the people, and does like coaches corporate teams, coaches sports teams, coaches individuals, like does so much of this stuff. And this is so important across the board. So maybe you are here and you're like, I don't know like where I'm at with this business. This is something that you can apply to your life. But if you are really interested in growing your Young Living business and taking this thing to a level of the freedom that we all so desperately seek with this business, I really, really, really encourage you guys to not only to take notes, but to actually like put this stuff into practice, because I personally have watched this come to fruition in our life. And I just really think that it is the difference maker in a lot of ways. So maybe it's the missing link for you. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but I can 1000% assure you that you will walk away from this feeling inspired and motivated, and you will definitely learn something. Okay. So I'm going to pass it over to Collin. But first, make sure you guys follow him. He shares lots of lovely little nuggets on Instagram. So he's at Collin Henderson?
At Collin Henderson, 2 L's. Yep,
2 L's. At Collin Henderson on Instagram. And then he has a podcast too, which is like good little some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are longer.
The first 100 episodes are like 5 to 10 minute mental wellness, mental fitness lessons. And the rest of the 100 we're doing people
like interviews.
Yeah. So enough with the boring stuff. Let's dig into it. Let's go. So, hey, thanks for showing. Well, I'm just saying, we got to get into it. Thank you for showing up. And Kendra, definitely, you're not boring. But I think people are here on a Friday night. So we just want to say thank you for showing up. Seriously. Thank you so much for investing in yourself, for investing in your business. And we can do a lot of things tonight. So thank you for being here. So the topic tonight is manifesting magic. So let's get a little feedback from the audience using the chat feature. What's your definition of manifesting? Manifesting. How would you summarize that word, manifesting? It kind of sounds kind of cool, but also I can see how somebody say it's kind of hokey too.
Yeah, completely.
Like manifesting.
If you don't know what it is.
How would you describe the word manifesting? Putting your thoughts in motion. That's it.
What you put into the universe.
The snowball effect. Come on. That's good. What else? So while you're thinking about your definition of manifesting, there's 3 things you need to do to make this time well spent for you. Number 1 is have an open mind. The mind's like a parachute, only works if it's open. Number 2, have a piece of paper or journal. And number 3, have a pen or a pencil. Don't just think and ink it. So that's our first challenge. Let's going to treat this like this is a mental workout. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not here to get you motivated. I'm here to give you tools to equip you to be your best. So just like going to the gym, you can't get strong unless you do the work. Well, to manifest, you got to do some work. And it starts by being vulnerable and being honest with yourself and being real. So the definition that we're going to use today for how to manifest amazing stuff in your life, it's 3 words. And these 3 words changed my life. Thoughts become things. #TBT.
Not Throwback Thursday.
Not Throwback Thursday, but thoughts become things. Your brain is a magnet. Facts. What you focus on, you will find. Energy flows where focus goes. What you resist persists. So the first thing we're going to do today as a little mental warm-up is I want you to draw 9 dots. Can we see the 9 dots here? I want you to draw 9 dots 3 by 3 on your paper. Now, I'll just say this. If you want to be average, this is not the class for you. If you want to just coast through life and say, oh, it's fine, this is not the course for you. If you want to do the work, then let's do the work and show up. So I want you to draw 9 dots 3 by 3, just like this. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that.
Yeah, they can see it.
All right. So here's the challenge. This is like the little warm up before we get into the training. I want you to connect all 9 dots, only drawing 4 straight lines. You can't retrace, and your pen can't leave the page. Say it again.
Yeah, say that again.
Connect all 9 dots. 4 straight lines. You get 4 straight lines to connect all 9 dots. You can't retrace, and your pen can't leave the page. You have to keep your pen down the whole time using 4 straight lines, and you can't retrace. So little activity tonight just to get your mindset going. Maybe keep trying with the backside of the pen. Maybe try before you write. So we'll give you about a minute.
I'm an art major. I've got this. Don't worry.
Yeah. And if someone knows this exercise, please come off and mute and maybe in a second coach us on what to do. But I'm about to show you.
4 straight lines.
Mm-hmm.
Your pen can't leave the paper.
Correct.
Nope.
That's not it.
Anybody got it?
Anybody know? Hey, we're having some games. This is a party trick.
We're having Friday night game night together. Look at us.
This party trick, once COVID's over. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. And this is kind of a little trick question. And that's the whole point of tonight, like how to manifest. Thoughts become things. So you're going to start here, go straight. You have to go outside.
Oh.
You have to go outside the box. So you go straight, go outside, come straight down, then back up.
My mind's blown.
So there's a kind of a method behind this little mental exercise. Again, we're talking about how to manifest magic. And this is like a visual exercise to challenge you to think outside the box. That statement is so cliche, but have you conditioned yourself? Have you limited yourself? What is possible for you? I want you to watch this. Our limits begin where our vision ends. I'll say that again. Our limits begin where our vision ends. What limits have you put on yourself because of your environment, because of your past? So what we're going to do tonight is to shatter these limiting beliefs, these limiting thoughts, elevate your self-image, elevate what is possible, and use this 6 inches between your ears, this 3-pound mass, to manifest and create amazing things in your life. So everything in life on this planet is made of 2 things, energy and matter. And some scientists say that your thoughts create a frequency and an energy that can penetrate through brick.
Wow.
Just like there's frequency for listening to the radio, the internet, watching television. There's enough energy in our body to light up a whole city. So are you using that power inside of your brain? Do you focus on what you want or what you don't want? Thoughts become things. Energy flows where focus goes. So fear and faith have a lot in common. Which one do you focus on? Do you focus on what you want or what you don't want? So that's the first thing. So your brain's a magnet. So I'm just going to give you 2 quick stories today just to set the table, to give you some real life examples how powerful your mind is. The first story is from Russia. This is a true story. There is a Russian railway worker working, and it was this, his job was, he was in charge of freezer cars. So these freezer cars would come in overnight and he would clean them. Well, one night he was inside The lock got trapped. He was stuck inside this freezer car. And based off of his training, he had 8 hours to live. She said, repeat that again. I don't know what I said.
That's okay.
So he's in the freezer car. So he has like, I have 8 hours. So I'm going to freeze in here. Then he found a piece of paper and he wrote down, I have 4 hours to live. I can't feel my hands and my feet. And then he wrote down, I have an hour to live. I'm going to die in this freezer car. They found him dead the next day. Well, they did some research inside this freezer car, and they found that the freezer apparatus was broken. It was 54 degrees in the freezer car. His thoughts killed him.
Wow.
Your thoughts influence your feelings, your emotions, your biochemistry. So if you can condition your mind and recognize, is this thought true? Is this thought serving me? So is your mind helping you or hurting you? The second story is very similar, but the outcome is very different. There is a pilot in the war. His name was Major Nesmith, and his plane got shot down. He was a prisoner of war for 6 years. But in this 8x8 cell he was in by himself, he would use his mind to survive that horrible environment. He loved to play golf. He wasn't good at it. He would shoot like a 95 or 100, but he would visualize his home course and he would play 18 holes every single day. He'd see the course, hold the club in his mind, swing it, see the fairway, chip putt. He did this every day for like 6 years. When he got saved, and that was his way to believe, I'm gonna get saved, I'm gonna use golf as my tool to get out of here. It took him 3 months to get healthy. After he got healthy, again, Major Nesmith, his first round, he shot a 75. He improved his strokes by 20 strokes without using any club, but using his mind. So today is all about creating and designing a system for you.
Wait, you're missing a major story.
What's that?
Collin won a talent show, you guys, in college.
Easy. Let me get there.
Okay, because I was like, you can't skip this story.
Okay,
The story
I can
is
tell
so
the story.
good.
Again, tonight's like story time. Just to give you, then I'll give you some. I'm gonna give
Like,
you.
you are not going to keep going with that.
Well, I have a lot of stories.
Okay.
You want me to tell that story?
Yeah, this is the best story ever.
So here's a question for you. Do you carve out time each day to visualize something that you want? To put yourself in that scene? Because your brain cannot tell the difference between a real and imagined event. I'll say that again. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real and imagined event. That's just basically breaking down thoughts become things. The spots where you visualize and think about things in your future are stored in the same place that actually store memory. So in college, I played at Washington University. I played baseball and football. I got thrown to this talent show. I didn't have time to prepare because I was juggling, being a senior and just I didn't have time. I didn't have time to do with school and lifting weights and practicing in our games. So I literally visualized my routine. I put a track by Justin Timberlake before I went to sleep. Would listen to your boy JT for probably 20 minutes before I went to sleep, and I choreographed a routine in my mind. The opening, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, chorus, bridge, breakdown. And I'd visualize what I was wearing, the audience and stuff. And I did this talent show, and I won the talent show because I did it in my mind 1,000 times. When it came time to perform, I was like,
Oh, gosh.
Freaking C hand, let's go. So I won the talent show. But I saw it in my mind when it came time to perform. You just threw me off track. I'm not telling that story, but okay. So we're going to get into the content. So what got me into this place of like understanding the power of the mind was I came from a place of struggle. So you can attest, 7-8 years ago, I was the definition of hot mess. I was the definition of in my own way.
For better or worse.
Yeah. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And if I wasn't first, I was last. And I was in a sales role where I was just not seeing the docs I needed to see. I wasn't confident. And part of my story is I used to stutter pretty bad, especially in like formal settings. Do I look nervous to you? Well, I did a lot of work to get to this place. It's therapy, speech therapy, Toastmasters. But in this struggle, I had the courage to like, I'm going to stop watching Netflix because I was crushing Netflix. I'm going to like press the pause button on all the sports. And I started to read books. And the book that set this thing off was a book called Positive Intelligence by Shirzad Sharmin. When I learned about this book, what taught me is, well, we have this critic brain in our mind, and that's not the real you. So I took this one mental skill, changed companies. And in that training at my new company, I had a mentor named Frankie Pretzel. And he gave me a list of 30 books. He was a sales coach, but he's like a mindset coach. He's like, Collin, sales psychology beats sales strategy. Selling is a mental game. Here's 30 books that I now have coined the Jedi Scrolls. And I took this list of books and I had so much clarity and so much excitement. And it kind of comes down to this. If you lack motivation, motivation is not drive. It's you lack clarity. So what this gave me is clarity. And I took all this information and I put it together in a system for myself, which I'm going to teach you. And that year he said, Collin, what's your goal this year? And at that time, my only goal that first year was I want to be the rookie of the year. So I wrote down every day ROI, rookie of the year, ROI. And I visualized, he said, Collin, visualize your suit. Here's the hotel we're going to stay at. Here's the conference room. See the hotel. Pick your suit out. See yourself on stage. I did that every day for 10 months. And I was able to manifest that goal. And I'm going to give you the really 7 steps that helped me get there. And I'll sprinkle in some more stories to where I own my own business. I've spoken to the biggest companies in the world on this stuff. That was a really long intro. So now we're getting into the content. All right, here we go.
Hey, they're here for it.
You're here for it. It's Friday night. Where else would you
We
rather
should have
be?
opened a bottle of wine, you guys.
Crack it open.
Pour some out for the homies.
Yeah, let's go. So how about this? What's your favorite Justin Timberlake song as we transition? Okay, maybe let's get a little JT.
Strawberry bubblegum.
Okay. Mine probably is I found out from him. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you 7 keys to manifest magic. 7 keys. And it all comes down to this word. And we're at an extra letter. I want you guys to write down GOALSV. GOALS space V. GOALSV. So through my research on positive psychology and with my research in cognitive behavioral training, I found that there's 7 fundamental mental lifts we can do to manifest greatness. 7 daily habits we can do to manifest, to attract. We believe in the law of attraction, or whatever you want to call it, manifest. You know, we're people of faith, you know, through prayer and through just belief.
Believing, yeah.
I'm going to give you 7 things to do. The step number 1 is to set a goal and write it down. I'll say this, common sense isn't common practice. You've heard this before, but do you do it? Do you write your goals down and get really clear on what you want? Because when you write down what you want and are super clear, it gives you that clarity, the best focus on less, not more. But that clear vision, it activates what's called the RAS. It's a cluster of brain cells in our mind that filters out what doesn't matter. It's like a heat-seeking missile for your subconscious. Your conscious brain is the goal setter, but your subconscious is the goal getter. So we need to pinpoint with clarity what it is that we want. Kind of like with the RAS. When you got that new car, then you saw that car everywhere you went. Or you want those pair of shoes, those Christian Louis Vuitton shoes, holla at your boy. You see those everywhere you go. Or those fresh ones, those Air Force Ones you wanted, the golden gooses. You notice golden gooses everywhere you are because you pinpoint what you want. So whether it's a dollar amount, whether it's a ranking, whether it's a lifestyle, get so clear that you can taste it and feel it. So there's a book called What They Did Not Teach You at Harvard. Is that Miko? What's up, girlfriend? Where's your hubby at?
Focus.
Okay, focus. Squirrel. Okay. There's a book called What They Did Not Teach You at Harvard, and they did some research. They showed a study that in 1979, Harvard business graduates, the researchers asked them 3 questions. Do you have a goal? Have you put it to paper? Do you have a plan to achieve it? 84% had no goal. 13% had a goal, didn't write it down. Only 3% of these cohorts had a goal, wrote it down, had a plan to achieve it. 10 years, they tracked what happened with these 3 groups. They found that the 3% who wrote down their goal, had a plan, made 10 times more money than the 97% combined. That's like 50 grand versus $500,000. Which one do you want? Again, common sense isn't common practice. Don't just think it, ink it. Write down your goal as clear as you can. Now, how many of you have a vision board? How many of you have drawn what you want in so much detail you can pinpoint everything about it? So I have a dream board on my phone. Kendra, you write down your goals every single month.
I do.
You
and I have it on my phone too.
You write down goals of like big ass goals. And if your goals don't scare you, you need to dream bigger. Let's go. Our limits begin where our vision ends. Stop putting limits on yourself. Picture what you want. Scare yourself. Then 10x it. Make it even bigger. So write down your goals. That's step number one. So how I set goals. I set we're gonna learn what's my intention for the day. What's my goal for the month? What's my goal for the year? So day, month, year, and write them down. And have like little. How I do my goals is I have like symbols, or I kind of summarize them in the thing where I can see them. And I write them down. Okay, so now that step one is write down your goal. Just write it down. Simple, right? It's simple, but do you do it? Collin, it sounds too simple. Well, do it anyway. I'm telling you, the science backs it up. Okay, number two. Now we're going to break down my acronym that I developed. This is in my Rise journal. You get on Amazon. It's called GOALSV. So we're going to break down now 6 things you're going to do daily. 6 things you're going to do daily. And this doesn't take more than 10 minutes to do. I want you to assess your life right now. How much time do you spend scrolling on TikTok, IG, Twitter, Facebook? So it's news. So there's 168 hours in a week. In a day, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. I'm only asking if you're going to get 1% better, that's just under 15 minutes a day for yourself, for your mental wellness, for your mindset, for your future self. So GOALSV is your system. Just like you would go to the CrossFit gym, they have the WOD, the workout of the day. This is your mental workout of the day. So we're going to break down GOALSV. So the first one, the G is an acronym. The G is gratitude. Is gratitude. So there's laws of gravity. There's laws of buoyancy. There's laws of success. I'm a teacher of the laws of success. And one of the fundamental truths of success is gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation to attract abundance. Gratitude is the foundation to manifest things. I'm going to break down some stats. So Cal Davis did some research. People who have a daily gratitude practice reduce cortisol by nearly 30%. That's the stress hormone. Penn did some research. If you have a daily gratitude practice, it lowers depression and anxiety. The CDC came out with some scary stats this month. People age 18 to 24, 25.5% are having thoughts of suicide. 63% are depressed and anxious. So if we're not proactively doing something to feed our mind and to proactively train optimism, train gratitude. So when you wake up each day, do you focus on what you don't have or what you have?
Take an inventory.
When you look in the mirror, do you focus on your flaws? When you look at IG, are you constantly comparing yourself to other people? You can't give what you don't have. Gratitude is a magnet for miracles. It's the foundation of all the greatness in the world. And why is gratitude so powerful? Is because gratitude is the antidote to doubt, worry, fear, and stress. You can't feel frustration, fear, anger, and feel gratitude at the same time. You can only focus on one thought at a time. And the direct sibling of gratitude is optimism. And to be successful in sales, to be an entrepreneur, you have to be optimistic. I've never seen a pessimist change the world. Have you? I've never seen a pessimist influence somebody to buy oils. Have you?
No, there's nothing worse than watching somebody and they're just like, wah, wah.
Exactly. So I'm going to throw a few stats about optimism and gratitude. So Duke did some research. Optimists make more money. Optimists have more resiliency, and optimists are more successful. MetLife did research, and in the 80s when they were hiring a new sales force, they separated new hirees from pessimists to optimists. They found that the optimists outsold the pessimists 21% year 1 and 57% year 2.
Wow.
So today and every day, my challenge is before you start your day, do an inventory of gratitude in your mind. An inventory, a gratitude checklist. Instead of focusing on what you don't want or don't have, focus on what you have.
And this doesn't have to be like, I'm so thankful. Like
No.
I'm thankful that we have a roof over our head.
Yes.
That we have kids, that we have a warm, cozy bed, like all those things.
Yeah. So we like to say, lower your threshold for gratitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunt the good stuff. Let's do a quick activity to make sure everyone's awake. Okay. Here's a quick challenge. Let's go, Young Living. Let's go, Magic Makers. Let's make it rain. It starts with the mind. All right. So I'm going to give you a challenge, 5 seconds. Look around your room. Quick mindset challenge. This is a focus challenge. How many blue things can you find in your room? 5 seconds. Ready, set, go. Are you even looking? Okay, stop. Eyes shut. Eyes shut. Everyone's eyes shut. How many green things did you see during that exercise? You're like, Collin, you said to look for blue. I was looking for blue. And that's the whole point. You were looking for blue. What you focus on, you will find. If you're looking for negativity, if you're looking for being a victim, if you're looking for this is too hard, if you're looking for I'm not worthy of this, guess what? You're going to find that. But if you look for the good, what I have, I'm going to optimize my strengths. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to maximize, the gifts that have been given to me. If I expect abundance, I'm going to find abundance. If I expect lack, I'm going to find lack. Hashtag hunt the good stuff. That's the foundation of excellence. I used to always compare. I have a PhD in what they call FOPO, fear of other people's opinions. I had to reprogram my mind to focus on, I'm going to use what I have. I'm going to double down on my strengths. I have so much. So that's step one, friends, is somehow have a daily gratitude practice, whether it's going on a gratitude walk. Focus on your favorite drink at Starbucks. Focus on a pet that you love, your favorite meal.
Your favorite kid.
That's going to set that frequency. Easy. That's going to set that frequency. Remember, our body is made of matter and energy. That's going to set the frequency to align yourself to attract abundance. It starts with gratitude. The second, actually, I'll say this. If for those people who like to get extra credit, the book I want you to check out to master gratitude is The Happiness Advantage by Dr. Sean Achor. Some people like to go the extra mile. Kendra doesn't read. It's okay. I read all the time.
Easy. Don't throw me under the bus.
You might listen to podcasts.
Listen, I was never a 4.0 student, but I came out just fine.
And basically, the basic premise of that book, The Happiness Advantage, is a lot of people think, I need success first, then I'll be happy. His research found that's a fallacy. He found that people who are grateful and happy first attract, achieve, and sustain success way faster than the opposite. Stop living in what's called someday-itis. You have it right now. It just hasn't happened yet. So let's go. All right. Now, we're working through GOALSV. The next step, so step one is to set a goal, write it down. Step two is to practice gratitude. Now we're in a GOALSV. So the O is to have one objective a day. Write down, what's my objective today, Miko? I can see your face. I'm looking at you because everyone else is basically, I can't see my face. I see Jessica. I see Katie. I see Marina. Is that how you say your name? Let's see who else I see out here. Kelsey, come on. All right. So before you start your day, set your intention. This is what Brian Tracy calls eat the frog first. Do the hard thing first. How many of you have your list and you maybe list like 10 things and you do all the easy stuff and you never get to that real thing you need to do? So the wording we use is a little, a lot, not a lot, a little. It's the start that stops people. So if you can train your mind, what's my one domino today? What's my one domino? I'm going to just knock that one domino down because you're busy, but are you productive? People who have success in this business, they're not the most highest aptitude or IQ, but they get shit done. They act different than how they feel. If you're waiting for motivation, it's not going to happen. Movement, momentum, then motivation. Movement first. So pinpoint, what's my one domino I'm going to execute regardless of how I feel? Write it down and then do it. Eat the frog first. Now, another layer of this is what I teach. I say, know your MITs, your most important tasks. And MITs is an acronym for what are 3 things you do every day? What are 3 IPAs you do every day? No matter what happens. If you did nothing else but those 3, you've won the day. So we want you to pick one thing you're going to do each day.
Objective?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like when you make your list, remember, so I taught Kendra this a few years ago. She would have her list and there was just no direction.
I have numbers right here.
I know. So make your list and then prioritize them 1 through 10 or 1 through 15 or 1 through 5.
And it feels so good when you
Prioritize
your priorities.
them. Like this, I'm going to do this hard thing first before I do anything else. I can't have dessert until I eat the veggies. You know what I'm saying? So how about this? Let's use the chat feature. What would you say your number one IPA is each day?
Well, I think it varies.
It might vary that day, but if you can generally look, like what for you to, you know, rank up to get biz, let's learn from each other. What's your number one objective that you try to challenge yourself to execute for you to grow your business?
Mine is show up online in some way. Yeah, okay. Show up. I think showing up is like so crucial. Show up and show my face. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this from memory. All right. So the book that inspired this thought is the book from Gary Keller called The One Thing. So if you can write down what's your one thing, this helps you filter out what does not matter. It helps you focus on, okay, if this doesn't help me do this, I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically November 13th is National Domino Day. This is for real. Like there's nerds that geek out on like dominoes.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Easy.
Hey, I'm a nerd. I like writing.
I actually like dominoes.
Yeah. So, and these scientists, they said, okay, how much inertia, how much force does one domino have? And they found that one domino has enough power to knock over another domino exactly 50% larger than that original domino. So basically double its size. So they said, well, what if we keep doubling and doubling and doubling? How big can we measure and see how big it can get? So they saw when it got to 10 dominoes, it was the height of Peyton Manning.
Stop.
When it got to 18 dominoes, it was the Leaning Tower of Pisa. When it got to 23 dominoes, it was the Eiffel Tower. When it got to 31 dominoes, it was 3,000 feet above Mount Everest. When it got to 57 dominoes, it was the height from the Earth to the moon. So basically, one domino has enough power to knock over 57 times all the way to the moon. So if you can do this every day for a week, a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years, this is called the compound effect, the slight edge. If you can do this consistently every day, what's my one big ass domino I'm going to execute no matter what? And you stack this over weeks, months, even years, this is how you get to Royal Crown Diamond. How many people do we know in this business take like a break? Oh, I don't feel like it. Or yeah, you can't. If you can execute your daily objective, that hard thing every single day and do this over time, your business is going to eventually compound. And that's like the business, right? Once you hit a certain...
Yeah, pushing that car up the hill. And we've all seen that like analogy of just like the minute you stop, you start rolling backwards. If you can get to the top of the hill, at some point you will hit like the beauty of residual income and you will be able to coast.
So here's the big idea for this, your daily objective, to manifest. So you can't just visualize and go eat a sandwich. You got to put in the work. Mm-hmm. We have our goal and our vision. We focus, we set that frequency, we set those coordinates to gratitude to open up ourselves to attract abundance. And then we execute daily things every single day. Eat the frog first. All right. The next thing we're going to do, we're going through GOALSV. So GOALSV, goal, set a goal. G, gratitude. O, objective. Now we're going to A. A is affirmations. Affirmations. So I want you to think about, who is your best friend? Who is your best friend? Would you still be best friends with them if they spoke to you the same way that you speak to yourself? If you were to take a step back and observe your thought life, your thoughtmosphere, would you like what you see? Would you like what you hear? If it comes down to thoughts become things, we have to clean up how we speak to ourselves. Mm. Quality thought equals quality movement. Negative thought equals negative movement. Our thoughts influence our feelings, our emotions, our biochemistry, and the actions that we take. And I asked this on the last training when we went live. We'll do it again. What do you guys think the number one source of confidence backed by science is? The number one source that raise your hand if you want to be confident. Raise your hand. I want to be confident. What if I tell you I can back this up by science? I'm going to give you one simple thing to do to elevate your confidence. Let's see. Do we have anybody brave enough to give what they think? What's the source of confidence? Use the chat. Come on, Ashley. You know what's up. Dr. Andrew Lane, BBC Lab, 44,000 people. They found the number one source of confidence is self-talk. How you speak to yourself. And the story I like to tell is that was told to me. It's a little parable. And teach this parable to your kids, please.
Yeah, so important.
There's a grandfather walking in the forest with his grandson, and they're on a nice walk. There's a creek right around the corner. It was a beautiful summer day. And the grandfather says, grandson, there's a fight in my mind every day. There's a fight in your mind every day. There's these two wolves in my mind competing for space. There's this negative wolf, this bad wolf that says things like, you're not good enough. You don't have enough followers on Instagram. You aren't charismatic on camera. You know, you don't have fill in the blank. You're too young, too old, whatever. And there's this positive wolf, this good wolf that says things like, you got this. Why not you? I can do challenging things. Let's go. And the grandson says, well, who wins that fight? If you've heard this parable, don't answer. Who wins this fight in your mind? Team, who wins this fight? The negative wolf or the positive wolf? Who wins in our mind? I see JC does affirmation every morning. Let's go. Vision board. Who wins that fight? The one that wins is the one that you feed. So what wolf have you been feeding every day? So the human brain, we say about 70,000 thoughts to ourselves per day. And up to 97% of our actions are controlled by our subconscious mind. And 80% of human thoughts are negative. So if you let your brain does what it does, it's going to go negative. So we have to have some systems with positive self-talk, with affirmations, writing down why I am worthy of this. So when you're about to do something that's challenging or new, do you do a checklist on why you're not worthy for that moment, or why you're going to fail, or why it's too hard? Let's recondition our mind and do a checklist why I am worthy. A book I love for you guys to check out is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, former Navy SEAL. He did BUD/S training 3 times, like the hardest training in the world. He used to have the pull-up record for most pull-ups in a day. And he says, I call this my cookie jar. When I was a kid, you know, my mom would give us cookies and I'd put my hand in and I knew I'd get something good. So when I'm doing something challenging, I go to my mental cookie jar. When have I had success before? When have I done hard things? When have I put in the work to earn the right? Let's do a checklist of, you know, why I'm worthy for this moment. So I want you guys to write down, when have I had success before? When have I overcame something challenging? And write down 3 affirmations that you're going to memorize. The affirmations I say to myself is, I'm authentic, I am present, I am courageous. These I am statements are going to be embedded into your subconscious, so you become what you think about the most. You become what you think about the most. How can you become what you don't believe? How can you become what you don't practice? So to help you take massive action, to help you have courage, change how you speak to yourself. What was the third one? I am authentic, I am present, I am courageous. So focus on when you've had success before. Focus on when you've overcame challenging things. Write some of these things down. This is what I call your internal advertising campaign. So just like advertisers advertise again to your subconscious to buy shit, advertise to yourself why you're worthy to find greatness. Like Kendra, if I said, ba-da-ba-ba-ba,
Loving it.
Geico, 15 minutes can save you
50% or more
on car insurance. So if we can have our internal advertising campaign for ourselves, I'm going to crush this IG post, man. I'm going to host an event, and I don't know who's going to show up, but I'm going to show up as my true, authentic self. I'm going to have high energy. Just change how you speak to yourself. That's going to give you a way better chance than going like this. No one likes me. I'm not very charismatic. No. Excellence is a choice. It's not by chance. So let's have some affirmations. So either write them on your mirror, on your phone every day. Just give yourself some positive self-talk. Write down some affirmations. I call these anchor statements. Anchor your day and your performance by productive self-talk. Now we got 3 more and we're done. So thank you for sticking with this. I'm having fun. Hopefully you're getting some tools. Are we taking notes today, friends? Let's take a little 20-second time out. So we can learn from each other. What's been your biggest takeaway so far? What's been your biggest takeaway so far? Use the chat right now. The biggest thing you're going to use, or that really spoke to me. So we can learn. Don't just think it, ink it. What's been resonating for you? Kendra, what has resonated for you thus far that just maybe reminded you of, I need to get back doing that, or I need to keep doing that?
I think just lower your threshold for gratitude. It is so easy to look at everybody's life right now and like look and think like, I'm so overwhelmed, or there's this, 2020 sucks, all this stuff. You guys, there is silver linings in everything. We can have gratitude in the smallest things. Like, it does not matter if you can get that feeling of gratitude for something. That is going to be a good place to start.
Facts. Okay, now we're going to L, which is learn. Learn. The biggest changing point, I would say the tipping point that set all this emotion to start my own business, to elevate from a stutterer to a speaker, from a worrier to a warrior, was one thing. I invested in my personal development every single day.
So big.
So I read in a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that the author, someone broke into someone's house that he knew. They broke into their house and they stole all their TVs, their whatever, Alexa's, fill in the blank. But the owner is like, these burglars are so dumb. I can go buy another TV for $500. They did not take one book. And there's millions of dollars worth of wealth in all those books. I can buy another TV. But the wealth of knowledge that I can gain. So here's an honest question. What are you filling your mind with? People who know how to read and don't read, they have no advantage on people who can't read. Now, it's pretty cool this day and age. You don't have to read.
You don't have to sit and read a book.
You can do audiobooks. You can do podcasts. You can reach out to mentors. So what are you doing to feed your mind?
Not to mention, if you were to just narrow this down into Young Living specifically, the resources and the mentorship that you have at your fingertips is insane. Like, it is unreal. And what do you say about success leaves clues, right?
Yes. Success leaves clues.
We should, we have no reason not to be pouring into ourselves every single day. I don't care if you're throwing a load of laundry in, if you are driving in your car. Sometimes, you guys, I go in the drive-thru at Starbucks and I get a coffee and I drive around neighborhoods so I can listen to a podcast. Collin loves to do the dishes at night so he can listen to a podcast. That's his time to get some learning in. It does not matter what it is, just figure out, find some time to do that.
Yes. I go to business groups and look back on all the videos.
Yeah, exactly. While doing tours. I do this all the time. So
this is a fact. And Kendra said it. Success, guys, write this down. Success leaves clues. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. People are doing awesome stuff. Just model those behaviors and then be a DJ and remix it for you. Make it your own. But there are certain fundamentals and there's certain behaviors. Behaviors precede success. So if we can spend time learning this stuff. Now, the other part of learning is not being afraid to fail. Failure is life's best breeding ground to learn. Is failure a devastation or an education? I'll ask that again. Is failure a devastation or an education? If we can rewire our mind to have what Dr. Carol Dweck at Stanford calls a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset, they say, I am who I am. Talent is fixed. They don't like challenges. They don't like feedback because it challenges their ego. Where growth mindset is, I want to learn. I can get better. Don't find yourself, create yourself.
There was
I can be anything.
There was a book that Brandon posted in the Facebook group called Personality Isn't Permanent. And he has some awesome notes in there, but kind of like off of that point, one of the quotes he had, and when I read this to Collin, he was like, wow, that's kind of intense. But it said, like, if you don't look back a year from now with like some form of embarrassment, you are not growing. Like, and you guys, I don't mean that in like, oh my gosh, I was such a weirdo. I mean that in like, I will watch videos that I've done a year ago, or look back, like if you get like a, you know, on Instagram, it shows, what do they call it? Like not a time hop, but you know what I'm talking about. And it shows like what you did a year ago, and I'll look at like a picture I took or something. You guys, I like, there's nothing better than saying like, wow, I've really grown this last year. And sometimes I'll look at that and like get a little cringy and like, oh man, like that wasn't probably my best work. But that just means that we are growing. So it is really, really, really important to realize that like, it's okay to look back at that stuff and think that, okay, wait, maybe I've made a lot of progress. That is a good thing.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention, for affirmations, if you want a book for extra credit, the book I suggest is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, one of the best-selling business books of all time, written in like the 1940s, 1930s, 1950s. It's been redone, but it's just basic laws of success. And the last part about learning is this. I like to tell the story of one of my favorite entrepreneurs ever, Sarah Blakely. Any Spanx fans, raise your hand. So Sarah Blakely is one of the wealthiest female entrepreneurs on the planet. And she was on a podcast, and I asked Sarah, how did you build your empire? Like, what's your secret to success? Her answer was so amazing. She says, well, first of all, I used to sell fax machines door to door for 7 years. I heard no a lot, but really it was a question my dad asked me and my brother after school every day, every week. So if we're parents in the house, what do we ask our kids after school? Now during virtual, are you alive? Oh my goodness. Am I alive?
For real.
Are we alive?
Yes.
But like, how was your day and what'd you learn? But she said, my dad asked me and my brother this question: did you fail today? And if we said no, he was kind of sad, because we weren't trying new things. We weren't getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth and comfort zones cannot coexist. So he says, my perception of fear and failure is completely flipped upside its head. For me, failure is not trying. Fail stands for first attempt in learning. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Don't waste a mistake. Celebrate it. Learn from it and keep going. Fine and ready. Now, the last thing is, how many of you have a mentor that you actively seek out and call and talk about stuff that you pinpoint? How much have mentors changed your life?
Huge.
Where,
like, we have so many mentors at our fingertips. Again, like with Young Living, you guys, we are rich in so many of these things, and mentors is one of them.
So I remember reading the stuff about the power of the mind. I remember I was reading a phrasing like, if you hang out with 5 confident people, you'll be the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 idiots, you'll be the 6th idiot.
Mm-hmm.
So to elevate yourself in its comfort zone, to learn this stuff, like, seek out who has what you want. Talk to them.
Seek out maximizers, people who maximize you.
And ask them questions. Pick their brain. Success leaves clues. I remember when I learned this stuff, we had our first national meeting, and we're in Georgia. I was like, who's the top rep in the country last year? Like, oh, that's Rosie from Boston. I was like, where's she at? There's just went up. Rosie. We're gonna reenact this.
Oh, okay.
Rosie, Collin, Henderson out of Seattle. Oh my gosh, congratulations on crushing it last year. I'm so pumped for this role. I want to kill it too. Can I call you like once a week? You know, just for a few minutes? Oh
yeah, daddy.
Just to talk and ask you questions about what you're doing. She's like, let's do it. I was the top rookie there because I stole all the stuff that she does. Good artists borrow, the best artists steal. Let's go. So do you have a mentor? Do you have mentors? Make it a daily point to reach in, reach out, talk to them, and learn. All right. Mm-hmm. The book I want you to look at, this is my favorite book of 2017, and that's Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. He's the founder of Nike. Talk about failing fast and often, and talk about no rules.
Yeah.
There are no rules in this job.
No playbook. Rules? No playbook.
There's no playbook. So you might do it different, but he learned so many different ways. He failed so many times. He failed all his way to the top. 2 more. Now we're through GOALSV. S, I love this one so much. Selling is not selling. Selling is service. So S is serve. It's not random acts of kindness. It's intentional acts of kindness. Selling is serving, especially in this role.
Yeah.
especially in this role, as mamas, as parents or friends, are you looking to sell or are you looking to serve?
Yeah. People will sniff it out if you're trying to sell them something.
The phrase we use is seek to serve, don't swerve. Like, look for reasons to help. Look for reasons. Really. Now, if I were to ask you, what is your definition of leadership? Write down in the chat. What's your definition? Let's pick one word. If you're going to pick one word to define leadership, what is it? Are people willing to,
they're
throw it out there?
They're gonna throw it out there.
Let's see what you think.
Charge.
Leadership. Yeah, going for it. See a few more. Leadership.
Example.
Set an example. Okay. Confidence. There you go. So to me, if you can break down the word leadership into one word, it's this: influence. Influence. Leaders have the ability to influence. Now, if you can break down the word influence by one word, it's this: value.
Mm-hmm.
So look at leadership, draw an arrow, influence, draw an arrow, value, and circle value 5 times. Value. So every post, every picture, every copy, every reaching out to people, value. Would you agree, Kendra?
Yeah, I absolutely. I think you look at the people who do this business like really, really successfully and who have, grown like quickly or not quickly, they are bringing value like on every single level.
So we're talking about how to manifest magic. If you can serve and bring value, you are going to 10x your business.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to 10x your influence. If you're serving and helping and people see you as that like resource.
Without expectation also,
yes.
Can I just say, like, there's nothing worse than somebody being like, here's this on a silver platter. Okay, so are you ready to buy yet? Like, you guys, we can just like love on people and serve people and give people, because like, again, thoughts become things. You will attract this back. There are so many like law of reciprocity, or like just like I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but basically like the principle of like, when you give stuff freely, like you will receive it back. Okay. You will, but you don't have to be expecting it or waiting for it, or it's going to come. Just be patient.
This is Romans 20:16. He says, in God's kingdom, he who is last shall be first. He who is first shall be last. And I think about humbling yourself and serving, removing the ego is the enemy. So last thing before we wrap up this section, I want everybody to point your finger like this. Point your finger like this. Let's go, squad. Young Living. Let's do it. 2020 is our year.
I have an extra long finger.
We're just getting, she has a freakishly long finger.
Piano hands.
We're getting started. So, you know the saying, every time you make an excuse, you have 3 pointing back at you, right? Well, what if we flip the script? What if this finger represents a genuine act of kindness, love, and service, expecting nothing in return? How many fingers are pointing back at us?
3.
You'll be blessed 3 times over. Facts. But the way this works is you have to expect nothing in return. You have to do it out of sheer love and I'm going to help and serve and bring value.
Yeah.
But watch what happens. If you're a part of a team, which we're a part of a team, this is the triple impact of service. By helping you, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel good?
Yeah.
And then someone observed it. They feel good. They're inspired to serve as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this elevates culture. Imagine having a marriage or a friendship or a team where we're just looking to help and serve people. You can be that person. Be the type of leader that you want to see in other people. It starts with you. So servant leadership is the ultimate form of influence.
Mm-hmm.
Help and serve. All right. The book I want you to check out, again, extra credit, is The Go-Giver.
Well, and let me
by Bob Burg.
Just say really quickly. So like Collin has a journal where these are all written out and it says goals. And so like every day he's writing these things down. So like he's going to write, like he would write, who am I going to serve today? So like sometimes he would write like, bring Kendra a coffee, or like it's an intentional act of service. It's not like, oh, like I'm going to serve my wife today. No, like what are you going to do? Like, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes Collin would like leave this on his nightstand and I'd be like making the bed and I'm like, oh yeah, mama's getting flowers today. Like, cause I would see like what his act is like, but you guys, these have to be intentional. These are not like always innately wired in us. So these have to be intentional. So like same with all of these, like just write GOALSV like on a piece of paper or get this journal or whatever. And like write it down. Say like, what am I grateful for? What is my objective today? Like give yourself an affirmation. What are you going to learn today? Like what podcast are you going to listen to? What video are you going to listen to?
Yeah. So that's a good reminder. So you don't need my rise journal. You can do it on your own.
But you can like it looks like this. You guys can see this. Like it's a piece of paper and it says GOALSV. Like it doesn't have to be complicated, but you have to write these things down. So who are you going to serve? Write it down. What are you going to do? It doesn't.
Or you can reflect. Who did I serve today?
Or you can reflect. Yeah, either
and
way.
And then with learning, like what did I learn today?
Yeah.
Like, or what am I going to? What podcast or what mentor am I calling? You can just document this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The last one, home stretch. Let's go, wrapping it up. So there's 5 letters in the word goals. The Roman numeral for 5 is V. GOALSV. And V is to visualize. So now you set your big ass goals. You have gratitude. You wrote down things that you're grateful for. You wrote down your objective for the day. You wrote down some affirmations. You wrote down, hey, I either learn this, I want to learn this today, or this is what I'm going to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And then for V is, watch this. You write your goals as if they're already done. I'm a New York Times bestselling author.
Mm-hmm. I am a Royal Crown Diamond.
I make X amount per month.
Mm-hmm.
You love that one, don't you?
Hell yeah, I do.
And you get so specific because you become what you think about the most. Thoughts become things. How can you become what you can't see? Clarity is power. The best focus on less, not more. And this is really probably the most powerful force to manifest. We've done all these steps to lead up to this last one that is really the most powerful skill to manifest and to attract abundance. And that's to close your eyes. And this is what psychologists call imagery, using all your senses, put yourself in that scene,
mm-hmm.
and actually do that thing in your mind.
So that might mean like for me, that means like I close my eyes and I like visualize that like little icon when you hit a rank next to your name, and I visualize it saying D, and I visualize it saying R for Royal Crown Diamond, and I visualize what color it's going to be, and like who are my 6 girls, and then I visualize like walking across that stage in a dress, like what am I going to be wearing, and like because they have a gala every year. Like you guys have to get really nitty gritty on this, because you say something that I think is so powerful. We create these future memories in our minds.
True. Everything happens twice, first in our mind, then in real life. Say that again. Everything happens twice, first in our mind, then in real life. Fear and faith have a lot in common. Which one do you focus on?
Mm-hmm.
Do you focus on what you want or what you don't want? And it's a simple example. When you go to a restaurant and order a food, you look at the menu and you select what you want. You never question that waitress or waiter will not bring your food. Life is the same way. Pick what you want and have extreme, unwavering belief,
confidence, yeah,
that it's going to come.
That's so good. Preach. Front row at church over here.
That's what I'm talking about. But do you have the discipline to do this? Honest question. Are you disciplined enough to close your eyes and put yourself in that scene and visualize what you want? Or is looking at YouTube more important to you? Is binging on Netflix more important to you? Discipline equals freedom. Your future self, you deserve it. Your future self deserves for you to have the discipline to carve out 10 minutes a day for yourself. You're basically paying your future self with these mental, emotional exercises that are all backed by science. I'll give you a few examples before we wrap up. So there was some scientists that were looking at basketball. I worked a lot of sports teams. So they had 3 groups. Group 1 was going to shoot free throws a half-hour day for a month. Group 2 was just going to do nothing. Group 3 was going to visualize making free throws a half-hour day for a month. After a month, they found that the group that was practicing making free throws increased their foul shots by 24%. Group 2, no training, no improvement. The group that just visualized making free throws increased their percentage by 23%. How about weightlifting? Same study. One group would lift weights every day. Group 2, no lifting. Group 3 would just visualize lifting weights. At the end of that study, the group that lifted weights increased their strength by 30%. Group 2, no improvement. Group 3, their strength improved by 13%. This might be a good exercise for you to visualize lifting weights. Just kidding.
Easy.
Oh, okay. So all I'm saying is when you visualize what you want, it creates a neural pathway in your brain, a mental groove. Neurons that fire together wire together. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real and imagined event. So Michael Phelps would do this when he would train. He'd visualize every single part of his swim. And also, I forgot to talk about affirmations. Every time he walked through a door, he'd give himself an affirmation. I'm a champion. I'm the world's greatest.
Badass.
So my challenge to you is this. When and where will you get your mental reps in? Just like you would carve out time to go to the gym, go to the mind gym. Don't just exercise, exercise. And I'll end with this one story. When I learned all this stuff, I was like, holy shit. This is so powerful. Why don't more people have access to these tools?
Mm-hmm.
This stuff's not taught in schools. Most onboarding in business not taught. But if you study the best successful people in the world, they do all this stuff in some form or fashion. It's like, I'm going to put this to the test. So I developed this system. Gratitude. What's my objective? Affirmations. I'm going to learn every day from mentors, from failures. I'm going to serve others. That's the X factor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to visualize every day. I'm going to raise the bar. So set your low goals, like lower your goals and hit. So what, right?
Yeah.
Set some high ass goals that scare the shit out of you. And if you miss a little bit, so what? That's awesome. So when I took over at this role again, when I learned all this stuff, the average rep in my geography was getting 4 to 5, 6 orders a month. Just like this thing. Like most people thought you can't sell in Seattle. There's no access. We never had success there. I'm learning this stuff. I was like, dude, there is no limits. My mind is limitless. I am limitless. So I set goals every month. So I had like 10, then 15, then 20, then 25, then 30. Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 months in, I set the goal 50. I wrote down, I'm going to get October 2014. I'm going to get 50. I wrote down 50 every single day. I'd see 50 every day. Do the whole thing, gratitude, every day, gratitude. I'd play music to get into that peak state. I just feel good. Service is love, optimism. And it came to that last day, it was Halloween, 2014. I had 42 orders going to the last day. 42. I was 8 away.
I'll never forget you leaving for work that day. I was like, oh God.
Because my most
paint my cat whiskers on and pray for the best.
The most orders I had in a day was 5, so I need to get 8. But it didn't change. It's like, bitch, I'm getting 50. Let's go. I visualized it, just had that energy and that belief. So I went out my day and, seeing customers, and I was selling catheters, by the way. So really glamorous, the devices. I'm
the old cath king. That's what we used to call
surgeons in hospitals, whatever. But so I pull into the driveway, and because Halloween, I had to get home early. And the last day we get orders was 4 o'clock. It was 3:45. I had 49 orders. I was 1 order short. Same routine. I gripped the steering wheel in our garage, closed my eyes, said a prayer of thanks, and I saw 50. I said, I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to see on my email that the envelope icon, I'm going to see that red one. I'm going to open that red one, and I'm going to see 50. I just believed it. So I went inside, put down my backpack, hugged Kendra, gave her a kiss, changed, put on my Batman costume, forgot about 50. And then like 4:30, I was like, oh shit, I got to check out my phone. I opened my phone with complete expectance of seeing that red one. I saw the red one. Like, oh snap. I opened it up and I got that 50th order. I dropped amazed. I started bawling my eyes out. I might cry right now. Huh. It's like my mind, our mind is that powerful. You can manifest. Thoughts become things. Your brain produces a frequency that could penetrate through brick. What limits have you put on yourself? It's time to break free from your conditioning. Stop being a prisoner of your past. Focus on what you want. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. I want you to look around your room right now. Tonight, before you go to bed, look in the mirror and say, I have everything I need. If I have a vision and a goal, if I choose gratitude, if I set a daily objective, if I have positive self-talk, if I speak nice to myself, compassion, empathy, love to myself, if I'm learning every day, if I'm serving, if I visualize what I want, I can manifest everything. So thank you for your time today. Mm-hmm. And know that you are loved. You are amazing.
We believe in you guys.
We believe in you. And let's do 1 minute of mindfulness, okay? let's close our eyes, take a slow, deep breath. If you're watching the replay, I hope you're not driving, but just close your eyes and pinpoint what you want. That's step number one. Do you know what you want? Just see yourself in that environment, what you're wearing, who's around you, what you can smell, what you can hear. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real and imagined event. Right now, you're creating a future memory. Thoughts become things. Now connect to that vision with just extreme joy, extreme gratitude. It's not that you don't have it now, you just don't have it yet. Just connect it. Oh, the world is for me, not against me. Things happen for me, not to me. I have everything I need. Think of people you love, people that are in your corner that you care about. Focus on that energy and see yourself with your people you love in that scene, just feeling abundance, feeling joy, feeling TOJ, tears of joy, feeling happiness. See yourself in there right now with people you love the most. And say this to yourself. Why not me? Why not us? Why not now? Let's go. Eyes open. Let's go. Start today what you can wish you start years from now. Start today. Fire, aim, ready. Let's go. So any questions for us as we sign off?
Thank you, guys. So fun hanging out. Have a wonderful weekend, and feel free. I'll post the link to this for those of you who didn't either see the whole thing, or if you want to share with your teams, and you guys can pass this along. All right.
You guys are amazing. Hey, hashtag TBT, thoughts become things. The body has limits, but the mind is limitless. You are limitless. Let's go.
See you guys.